Hi, it's Jane with the Compassion Project, and I am really excited to be here today with Emilie Fantuz. She is incredible, and I'm just really thankful you're here, Emilie. So welcome.
Thank you very much for having me.
So Emilie is beautiful, and she's adventurous, which I love, and incredibly talented. She is a self-taught palette knife artist that creates stunning works of art that will give you the feeling of stepping back from the chaos of life, which we all need right now. Her works range from beautiful floral paintings to natural and urban landscapes. And currently, she's focusing on Vancouver cityscape at night. Is that what that is there?
Yeah, this is a painting of Gastown, or from Gastown in Vancouver. It has such great lighting and one of my favorite areas to paint.
It's beautiful. I grew up in Vancouver, and as a teenager, I used to go to Gastown.
Yeah.
Amazing. So Emilie lives in Vancouver, Canada, with her husband and soulmate, fellow palette knife artist, Mike Fantuz. His paintings are incredible too. Both of you blow me away. You are adorable. So they met in a very unconventional and modern way through a hashtag, hashtag palette knife painting on Instagram. That's a good story too, because there's a lot of people that would love to meet someone. So maybe they should hashtagging all their hobbies or something.
It was very unexpected. So
I bet. So Emilie's work is influenced by fond memories from three diverse locations she has lived over the past 8 years: Kauai, Detroit, and now Vancouver. And her art is being featured alongside her husband's at the Ian Tam Gallery, which is a contemporary gallery for Canadian artists. And it's on Granville Street in Vancouver. That is so exciting. I did read that they just reopened on May 27th.
Yeah, that's really great news.
Yeah, so we're going to just talk a little bit about what inspired your art. I love to hear, what inspires people, and then we'll talk about the social distancing and what's happening with the pandemic. So what inspired you to move to Kauai when you were 22? That's a big move for a young woman.
So I graduated college around that time, and I studied to be a teacher. And I'm originally from Michigan, and that's where I studied. But when I graduated, it was a really difficult time to find a teaching job in Michigan. So a lot of my peers at school and professors were encouraging us to perhaps think about going to another state and getting some teaching experience there, then maybe coming back in the future and having that experience to have an easier time getting a teaching job. So I did, when I was thinking about this, I was kind of like, well, let's try to find the kind of most exciting place to go.
Why not?
Yeah. So I just applied online to a bunch of teaching jobs in Hawaii, and I was fortunate to get one.
That's amazing. Okay, so you moved to Kauai by yourself.
Yeah.
To teach. And so what grade did you teach there?
So I taught in a very small school, and I had a multi-grade classroom of grades 2 through 5. At the time, the school had about 50 students, grades K to 12. So there wasn't a full class for each grade like we might normally see. So it's range.
Wow. And so how many years did you live in Kauai?
I was just there for 2 years.
Okay. And did you always paint? Like, were you always creative when you were younger? And was it something that you were passionate about?
Yes, I always loved to create and draw and paint and experiment with lots of different kinds of artwork, but not really with any particular direction or medium or anything like that. I took a few art classes in high school and an art class in college, and but I didn't really have a focus, and it was something I did more in my free time. And then when I was in Kauai, the area I lived in, they had a lot of art galleries, and I would visit the galleries, and I became friends with an artist there named Giorgio, and his work was in palette knife, and I was really just drawn to it, and I really liked the texture and the look that can be achieved with the palette knife. And he was really kind to me and invited me into his studio and kind of let me paint and gave me some tips and really launched my art career and my whole path into painting with palette knives.
That's incredible.
No, I feel so lucky. So many artists are, not that this is a negative thing, but very private about their process, and it can be difficult to know where to start. So I feel very lucky that someone was able to share their knowledge with me like that.
Yeah. Was he Hawaiian?
No, he's from Ecuador originally, but had been in Hawaii for 20 or 30 years. So.
And have you stayed in touch with him?
A little bit. We're friends on Facebook, and we'll have a chat every so often. And
he must be so proud of what you've done. That's so cool. I just want to make sure you move over a bit so we can see your face. You're getting the other way. There we go.
Okay.
You're so pretty. I'm like, girl. Okay, I love Hawaii. I grew up going to Hawaii, and it is a place that can really inspire you, I think, because it's so beautiful. But yeah. I just have a question about the palette. Do you use it? Is it oil painting?
I do, yeah, oil.
And so it's a certain type that's really thick?
I use Gamblin oils. So I just use it straight out of the tube. Some artists will add some things to their, some mediums to their oil paint to make it thicker or use it differently, but I just use it straight out of the tube.
Okay. Because I've seen some of your floral ones, like, oh, your sunflowers.
Mm-hmm.
Stunning, absolutely stunning.
Yeah.
So, okay, so you lived in Hawaii or Kauai for the 2 years, and then you moved back to the States, and you were painting there too.
Mm-hmm. So when I moved back, I got that really great foundation in my painting in Hawaii and with that guidance. But then moving back to Michigan, I was able to develop, I guess, my own style and my own ideas of what subjects I would like to paint and whatnot.
Wow, like you've been in quite a few galleries too, right? In the States.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're incredible. Okay, and so now you've been living in Vancouver for 3 years?
I have, yeah. Yeah, it'll be my 3 year in September. So
Vancouver is my hometown.
It's a beautiful city.
I grew up in Vancouver, and I now live in Kelowna, Okanagan, which is close to you, about 4 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's beautiful here too. But I always have that. My high school friends are all from Vancouver, and it's an incredible city. So were you teaching when the pandemic hit? You're teaching.
Yeah. So I teach here as well, and I'm in a new teaching role this year, and we were just starting our spring break when everything kind of went crazy.
It is really surreal, the whole thing. So when did you actually realize, like, okay, this is a really big deal. Things are going to close. Things are going to change.
Well, I guess leading up to the few days before our spring break started, there was kind of this turbulence, kind of emotion in the air, and kind of this unsettled, like, feels like something is happening, but nobody could really believe it or know what it was. And then I think we were hearing rumors of like a 30-day quarantine and trying to imagine, oh my God, we're not going to be allowed to leave our house or this. And do we need to stock up on food? And and then for me, I feel like when it first started it really hit me was that following Monday. So actually the Saturday before that, I did a demo at Opus Art Supplies, and it was sort of like, okay, is this still happening? Like, are we able to get together? And
So that must have been around middle of March then.
yeah, 13th, 14th or so. And I was remembering that they were starting a little bit of the distancing at that point, where they're like, oh, we've spread the chairs apart a bit, but it was not like it is now. And then that Monday, my husband's work told him that he needed to leave the building and lots of the workers there needed to leave, and because of the pandemic. And that was really like the shocking point, and the like something is happening.
It really was. I think all of us were in denial for a bit there, because I remember, I think for me, it was when the hockey, hockey and football, I was like, what? There's no way that they would ever end.
I know, and like the Disney World closing. I was like,
I have a friend that was in Disney World and they had to get out, and it was hard to get flights out, and then it was crazy. Yeah, so I think all of our brains were very in denial, or just not sure.
Yeah.
And then I think it happened, like, we're like, okay. My husband was actually I think he was in Brisbane because he's a pilot. And when he came home, we had to do the strict self-isolating for 2 weeks.
Yeah, okay.
It was weird. It's a weird sensation. So I think I read one of your posts that you, I think it was on the 17th, March 17th, you wrote that only a few weeks before, you and your husband had been out wandering and people were holding hands, and life was normal, and you get inspired, like taking pictures.
Yeah, so the way I approach a painting is I usually start with ideally going to a location that I'm interested in painting, and taking some reference photos. When that's not possible, I'll work with a photographer who's at the location I want to paint. But I do prefer to go there and kind of get a sense of the energy and the atmosphere, and also have my own decision making as far as what exactly I'm capturing and what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was about 2 weeks before, so it must have been first week of March, last week of February. My husband and I were in Vancouver to take some reference photos for some new work, and it was a normal night. It was very busy. Everyone was out, and then it's kind of been interesting for me, because over these last few months, I've been working using those photos as my reference, and I've been spending a lot of time painting, and it's been kind of a reflective thing for me, because these are all images of when everything was normal, right?
Yeah. I think we feel that lack of freedom to just go and do and be whatever we want.
Yeah, and there's just kind of this underlying, like, you get a sensation that, like, sometimes there's an underlying fear where it's like, I think I'm moving far enough off the sidewalk. Do they feel like I've moved far enough? Or, just different comfort levels.
I know, it's odd. And I don't really like that lack of freedom, or people connecting with smiling, and a lot, in the restaurants that have opened, they're wearing masks. Like, the importance of seeing a smile, and,
Definitely. Yeah. And just to, like, so much of our communication is nonverbal. So a lot of that does get hidden.
I know. We walk our dog a lot. It's really helped us getting out in nature and just going for a long walk. I know you are very adventurous. Actually, I have to mention this because you're so cute. I was like, oh my God, she's adorable. And your husband. Because I was like, these two, they've done June 16th. Last year, they did the Tough Mudder race.
Yeah.
And then they did the Vancouver Half Marathon, November 24th. And then what else have you done? Oh, you hiked, was it Uhuru Peak in Mount Kilimanjaro in 2018?
Yeah.
You love the outdoors. I think you get that whole importance of.
Definitely. It's so helpful. We have a dog as well, and we spend a lot of time walking and just getting out and
Yes, they have an adorable dog, Victoria. She's a puppy, right? Just a year.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I know. And I think I saw she was with you when you were at a painting or something. You had a very, she's so cute.
She's with us most moments of the day.
Oh, dogs are so important right now for people.
I know. My husband and I often talk about like what would we do without her right now? Like I feel like it's really helped our us emotionally and you know it's so rainy here. It's helpful to get us out even like on days where we probably wouldn't go out
Yeah.
otherwise.
Yeah. Oh, same here. Same here. Our dog is, yeah. So, what was I going to ask here? Oh, yeah. How has this social distancing and the pandemic affected your painting? Like I have a sister that's a painter, Lori Cost. She's amazing. I should give her a little shout out. She'd love it. She has a coin for Canada. She had a floral. She'll love it because she has this. So I love artists. My family. My mom's an artist too.
Oh.
But Lori, my sister, was interesting because she paints all the time, and she said that she actually couldn't paint for a couple weeks. She lost her inspiration right when it started.
Mm-hmm.
Like you might be different. Were you like, did that happen to you, or were you more inspired to, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I remember her saying that, and for me, I did actually really dive into painting, but I do feel looking back, there is something about those first 2 weeks. I just like, it was something like, I don't know, I guess a lot of anxiety and a lot of fear. And I feel like it took 2 weeks to settle into like, okay, just gotta keep going and move forward and go with the flow. But during that time, those 2 weeks, I focused on a very large 36 by 48 painting. It was actually another piece about Gastown. And I found that very calming and kind of like meditative. And the scene I chose, I feel like has a bit of a romantic vibe. And some of the work I do with the street scenes are a little bit more gritty, I guess. But this one it was just like a really beautiful scene to work on and helped me get through those few weeks.
wow. Okay, so that was 36 by
48, so a pretty
how
good piece.
how long would that take you to paint?
So those 2 weeks, I was in the studio like 8 hours a day. I was just pretty much in there obsessively. So whatever that is.
Oh, so a lot. Okay, yeah, a lot. Palette painting, do you just to clarify because I don't really know, do you actually sketch a drawing first?
That's a good question. I do. So, like you said, I do some floral work and I also do some cityscapes. With the floral work, it's a very, very loose sketch that I do that just maps out like where the center of the flowers would be, or if there's a vase, the placement on that. And that kind of a sketch would just take minutes, like not long at all. And then when I'm doing a city scene, I do spend time on a very detailed sketch because working with buildings and streets and streetlights, the angles and the lines need to be a lot more accurate versus a natural scene where in nature, you know, it's going to be a little bit more free flowing. So yeah, I do draw out the cityscapes pretty detailed first.
Like the one behind you is amazing, but I thought so it is drawn, and then do you go from left to right? Do you do it like
So
or
I usually try to work, I kind of think of like the farthest place away in the painting. So I usually start with the sky. And
oh
then like in this piece, I would start like back here at the street where it's kind of vanishing there,
yeah.
then working kind of forward like that. Um,
Oh,
and
does
then
that give it depth? That will give it the depth.
Yeah, and it just works for me.
I
Yeah.
really like that painting, just so you know.
Oh, thank you.
And yeah, honestly, I just think your work's absolutely
Well,
incredible.
and I should, if people are not familiar with what a palette knife is, it looks like this. So it's like a steel flexible spatula that you can use for painting. And they come in different sizes and shapes. And this one I like a lot because it's very pointy and helps me be precise.
So in your paintings, do they have texture to them? They have that.
Yeah. Yeah, they're
Wow.
quite textured. Sometimes I try to post some kind of zoomed in pictures so you can see that.
Yeah. So now what's happened with this Ian Tan gallery?
Oh,
That's so exciting. Like, tell me about that.
yeah, it's really wonderful. My husband and I both started working with the gallery just this year. Mike started with them in February, right before everything happened. And then I started with them, I want to say in April. So we're both really, really happy about this because it's a passion. We both share this passion for art and painting, and we share a studio. So everything we paint, we're painting right next to each other. And then to have our work in a gallery together and displayed together, I feel like is really, really special and really powerful. And yeah, the gallery is open now, which is really awesome. So people can actually go in and see our work. And they have rotating shows going on from now through the end of the summer. So,
Wow. So how long were they closed for? Do you know?
let's see here. I can't recall specifically, but I want to estimate maybe 6 weeks.
Wow. And so a
Yeah,
lot of, I think that like the art, it's hard from art and theater, and it's really struggled a lot of the
yeah. Especially
community.
because, like with art, it makes such a big difference to see it in person and stand in front of it, see the texture, and experience it. Because you can't experience it on your phone the same way you can in a gallery. So,
Yeah. And so did you guys have a website before, or did you, when the pandemic hit, did you get everything online pretty quick?
oh, we already had our websites going and whatnot. So we've just been trying to keep those updated and add our new work as we complete it.
Amazing. I'm so excited for you. I'll actually will post a picture in the comments. There's a picture of you and your husband because with both your work in the
Yeah,
back of the gallery.
yeah.
It's a really beautiful picture. So, what message do you want to send to the world through your art?
Oh, so for me, my artwork is exploring a couple of things, kind of the idea of slowing down and noticing the beautiful things that maybe aren't so obvious and kind of being aware of small moments that are meaningful. Um, so, for example, like in this piece right here, we have a couple, they're kind of arm in arm, and it's just like it's a simple thing, but it's like a beautiful thing. And even though it's something we see in our everyday life, I think sometimes we forget to appreciate it. And then I also feel like something like, it rains a lot in Vancouver, but the reflections are so beautiful and colorful, and like trying to see good in just your everyday surroundings and take a moment to slow down.
That's amazing. Honestly, totally get to my heart because I think a lot of us struggle with the busyness of life and get caught up in go, 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 go. And we don't take that time to just see what's right in front of us and know that the beauty and the joy is right in front of us. And
Mhm.
I've learned that through a lot of practicing gratitude when you
Yeah.
can, say you're walking down a street like that and it's raining. It's easy to think, oh, it's raining. But if you take a breath and you're like, I am so grateful that I can walk in the rain on this night.
Mhm.
And then all of a sudden it's like everything slows and you feel that joy of the moment because,
Mhm.
if something ever happened, I would want to be like, let me just enjoy the rain or the cloudy day.
Yeah, and knowing that it doesn't always have to be the big, glaring, obvious things, that you can find these things everywhere.
Okay, that is just the perfect message for this time with what we're going through. Everyone slow down, and I think it's a beautiful, beautiful thing that that's what your paintings are doing for people. And I think you're an amazing, amazing person, and I just, yeah, love what you stand for,
Yeah.
and I am so grateful that you joined me today. So,
Me too.
um, yeah, thank you. So someone did put up, they love your
Aw. Thank
painting. Just
you.
know who it is. But so we will put your website in the comments. I do have up here like this, but I'll add it in the comments so people can click on it. They can find your work there.
Yeah, it's all on my website, and my Instagram is also just my name, Emilie Fantuz. And if you would like to see Mike's work as well, his is Mike Fantuz.
Oh, we can put both in the comments. And if Mike wants to do a chat, he can do one too. I'll show off his work. Anyway, is there anything else you want to add?
I'll just thank you very much for having me and for giving so many people this opportunity to share what they're going through and how this has impacted them. It feels very good to have another way to connect right now. So thank you.
I know it's true. And we have to make the effort to connect because connecting is so important.
Yeah.
And I'm very happy to meet you. I think you're amazing. And okay, we'll sign off. And thanks everyone for watching.
Thank
And
you.
yeah, okay, bye.